Last-minute bombshell. Arsenal surges ahead for Aston Villa star after revelation of connection with Thierry Henry. At the same time, Mikel Arteta receives a crucial boost in the dream striker transfer before deadline day, while Nketiah is close to leaving the club with an offer from Crystal Palace. Stay with me until the end of the video to check out the latest Arsenal news straight from the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. Arsenal and Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins had a night he'd probably like to erase from his memory after Aston Villa fell 2-0 to Arsenal on Saturday. The England forward had a rough time in front of goal. He missed an absolute sitter in the first half. And then, when he was given what looked like an even simpler opportunity in the second half, Arsenal's David Raya pulled off an incredible save. Raya was definitely the hero of the moment, but let's be real, Watkins should have buried both chances. Watkins is usually a solid finisher, as shown by his impressive tally of 27 goals across all competitions last season. Saturday was just one of those off days, but he's bound to get back to his sharpshooting self soon enough. Arsenal's interest in him remains strong though, and they'll likely keep a close watch on Watkins, especially after his performance this summer has caught their attention. Arsenal have advantage in Ollie Watkins' transfer race. There's definitely a case to be made that Arsenal should snag a striker before the transfer window slams shut. They've been connected with Ollie Watkins, and bringing him into Mikel Arteta's squad could really shake things up in an exciting way. If Arsenal do decide to chase after him, they might even have a bit of an advantage in persuading him to join the team at the Emirates Stadium. In a recent chat with Sky Sports, Watkins shared a bit of personal history. "My granddad was an Arsenal fan, so that's the connection. I grew up supporting Arsenal." Even though Watkins might be tempted to move to North London because of his ties to Arsenal, getting Aston Villa to let him go won't be a walk in the park. Villa won't be in any rush or feel any real pressure to sell their star striker, so if Arsenal want him, they'll need to be prepared for a hefty price tag. During the same interview, Watkins shared his thoughts on Arsenal legend Thierry Henry. He didn't hold back on the compliments, saying, "I always say this now, he's the best player to ever play in the Premier League. Watching him was a real treat." Watkins went on to explain, "When I was younger, I found games a bit dull and had a hard time staying focused. But whenever Thierry had the ball, I'd get really excited, always thinking he was about to do something amazing." Henry is Arsenal's all-time top scorer and a true icon for the club. For Watkins to call him the greatest Premier League player ever is a huge compliment and shows just how much admiration he has for Arsenal. The dream-named Victor Osimhen is still alive. Arsenal might surprise everyone before the transfer deadline, as Victor Osimhen's future has just been clarified by his agent. With the transfer window closing on Friday night, Arsenal's clock is ticking to strengthen their squad. Mikel Arteta confessed that his team isn't as deep as he'd prefer, especially after Arsenal's recent victory over Aston Villa. It looks like a busy week ahead, with several deals on the horizon. Although most of the action is likely to involve outgoing players, EDU might now have an extra push to go after a big-name target like Osimhen. Victor Osimhen's agent denies Saudi Arabia transfer amid Arsenal links. Last week, there were whispers from Italy about Victor Osimhen potentially moving to Arsenal, with rumors suggesting the striker might be looking to leave Naples this summer. EDU was reportedly ready to start talks with Napoli about bringing the Nigerian forward to Arsenal, but things took a twist when Saudi Arabian club Al Ahly entered the scene and showed interest in Osimhen. Fabrizio Romano had mentioned that a deal with Al Ahly was nearing completion, but Osimhen's agent, Roberto Calenda, has now pushed back against those claims. He's firmly stated that Osimhen's future is focused on staying in Europe. Osimhen is a Napoli player, with a contract recently renewed with mutual satisfaction. He made history, and when there were major offers, also this year, we always accepted the club's decisions. As I said, it is not a package to be shipped far away to make room for new profits. Victor was elected African Footballer of the Year, 8th at the Ballon d'Or. He still has so much to do in Europe. There is a need for respect and balance. EDU must pursue Osimhen before time runs out. Following Arsenal's victory over Villa, it became even more apparent that the team needs a dependable striker. Despite creating several chances, they couldn't find the back of the net consistently. On top of that, Gabriel Jesus has been sidelined with another injury, and with Eddie Nketiah likely on his way out this summer, the manager is left with limited options up front. Victor Osimhen, who netted 15 goals in just 25 Serie A matches last season, should now be a top priority for EDU and Arteta. With his future still uncertain, the latest update makes it clear that Arsenal need to make a serious push to sign him. Guys, I confess that I'm really hoping this deal goes through. We urgently need a prolific number 9. Without a top striker, our title chances drop drastically, especially since our biggest rival has none other than Erling Haaland as their goal scorer. So let's hope everything goes well and that this season is our return to the top. Arsenal received new Eddie Nketiah bid as talks get underway after what he did on Sunday. Crystal Palace has now made their move to sign Arsenal striker Eddie Nketiah. Nketiah has dropped down the pecking order at Arsenal since last season, now behind Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and possibly even Leandro Trossard when it comes to leading the line at the Emirates Stadium. A transfer this summer seems like the right step for the Hale End Academy graduate. At 25, he needs regular game time, and with his limited role in Mikel Arteta's plans, he's not getting the minutes he needs. The England international, who's been capped once, has come close to leaving a few times this summer. Marseille made a push to sign him, but couldn't finalize a deal. More recently, Nottingham Forest showed interest, but then shifted their focus to other targets. Now, Crystal Palace has stepped in with a potential new opportunity for Nketiah, giving him another chance for a fresh start. Crystal Palace give a nod to move for Arsenal star Eddie Nketiah. Crystal Palace have now formalized their interest in the Arsenal attacker. According to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, reporting on as Crystal Palace have submitted an initial bid to Arsenal for Eddie Nketiah. The Eagles are set to begin negotiations with Arsenal after Nketiah himself seemingly opened the door to Crystal Palace on Sunday. This likely means the striker has signaled his interest in making the move to Selhurst Park. For Nketiah, this could be a smart move. He'd have a strong chance of securing a regular starting spot with Crystal Palace. Given consistent game time, Nketiah has the potential to really shine at the Premier League level. Fabio Vieira exit details revealed as Arsenal decision could have huge impact on Gabriel Martinelli. Arsenal brought in Fabio Vieira from Porto in the summer of 2022, shelling out £30 million for the Portuguese playmaker. Since joining, Vieira has made 49 appearances for Arsenal across all competitions, with 33 of those being in the Premier League. While he's shown glimpses of his potential, scoring a few goals and delivering some standout assists, he hasn't managed to make a consistent impact in North London. His preseason performances were also underwhelming, leading Mikel Arteta to seemingly move on from the 24-year-old. Vieira has now agreed to return to Porto on loan. The hope is that going back to his boyhood club, where he first showed the form that convinced Arsenal to sign him, will help Vieira rediscover his best self. There's still a chance Vieira could make a return to Arsenal and revive his career at the Emirates Stadium. According to Ojogo, Porto doesn't have an option to buy him in this loan deal. Additionally, Porto won't be paying a loan fee to take Vieira temporarily, but they are covering his full salary. This arrangement allows Arsenal to save on expenses this season while giving Vieira a chance to get back on track. Why Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli are set to suffer. A lot of Fabio Vieira's appearances for Arsenal have been on the right wing, filling in for Bukayo Saka. He's not a natural fit in that role, and his struggle to settle into a specific position has definitely affected his Arsenal career, falling short of what was expected. Backup options for Saka have been limited, especially since Arteta seems to have little confidence in Rice Nelson. If Vieira leaves and Arsenal don't bring in a new winger soon, Saka will have even less support, which puts extra pressure on him to stay fit and available. On a personal note, Vieira and Gabriel Martinelli are very close, almost like brothers. While Martinelli will be cheering for Vieira to get his career back on track, he'll definitely miss his friend when he heads back to Porto. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.